Get started with this Kevin Stefanski, Baker Mayfield drama. You know, like Baker Mayfield's got a little Michael Jordan in him, right? He has to create these narratives in his head that sound good to like motivate him to go against people. And he's like blaming Kevin Stefanski for getting run out of Cleveland. Anyways, Stefanski was meeting the media after he was announced as Falcons coach, and he responded to Baker Mayfield.
I love rivalries in sports, and obviously Buccaneers-Falcons have a great rivalry. It's something that I'm excited about, but I would not get into the specifics of those type of things, other than to say I have a ton of respect for Baker as a player, as a person. That's a great team with a great player.
There you go.
That's well said. I like Stefanski. I know a lot of morons out there are like, oh, he won 2 Coach of the Year. What does he want? Well, give me the win. Like, settle down. He was in Cleveland, Colin. Do people not understand how bad it's dysfunctional this franchise has been?
Yeah.
And our staff put together some Baker numbers with and without Stefanski.
Oh, I want to see
just to see if there's any big difference. You tell me. I don't know, Colin.
Oh,
you see anything big there?
Well, he had a much better winning percentage with Stefanski than without.
Yeah, imagine that in the factory of sadness, Cleveland. I'll just remind people, including Baker, what happened. Basically, he got run out, but they were doing it for Deshaun Watson. And that's not Kevin Stefanski pulling the strings,
Why
right?
can't I like both? I like Stefanski and I like Baker. I like both, and I root for both.
But do you like what Baker Mayfield's doing here, though, Colin? That's the real question. Out of the blue, he's just all of a sudden taking shots at Stefanski.
Listen, that's Baker's personality.
Right.
There's a reason I offered him a podcast at my little podcast company. There's a reason I offered him a podcast. He's fascinating personality. He has just got a chip on both shoulders. He is just fire and jet fuel. That can only take you
so far, though. Come on. Yeah, Johnny Manziel. All these guys are fascinating personalities.
Baker's a much, much better player than Johnny Manziel.
Better player, yeah, but personality? I don't know.
Well, no, I think Johnny had issues with that are now acknowledged in his personal life that are much deeper.
Okay. All right. Well, let's not start talking about Johnny Manziel. Colin, offer me a podcast at your little company. Come on, buddy. Put me in, coach. I got the personality. Atlanta Falcons fans, I'm not leaving you hanging all summer. I told you I love talking Falcons. I love talking, not just the main players. And I was going through some clips, and I'm like, all right, I want to make a video. I want to make a video. And then I saw another Steelers clip about Mike McCarthy, and I was like, oh, you know, I can do the Steelers. And it's like, no, this is my last clip that I'm making right now for the day. And I'm like, I'll be posting more clips. I'm making this the day before. And I'm like, I want to talk Atlanta Falcons. I want to talk Atlanta Falcons. You know, it's funny. It's hard to do the quick math there, but he actually has a better touchdown to interception ratio with Stefanski. If you times it by 4 times 20 would be 80, which is then 80 interceptions, but then 4 times 43 is over 160 touchdowns. So I guess Kevin Spencey's not so bad. All the people that want to talk about that, like, oh, Baker Mayfield was great as soon as he got away from Kevin Stefanski. He also had significantly better pieces around him, by the way, just so we're clear. But, I mean, you can pretty much add, what it'd be like 170 some touchdowns to the 80 or so interceptions. That's a big difference. That's a big difference. That would also change the passer rating, by the way, just so we're clear. Passer rating could also increase, you know, all that good stuff. But, yeah, Kevin Stefanski is a really good coach, man. And the Atlanta Falcons made a great decision to get him. And he's a grown-up. He's a grown-up. Despite what you may want to believe based on erroneous preconceived notions, this is a great decision for the Atlanta Falcons. And he just proved it just even with the response that he gave. And you're looking for grown-ups at this point with the Atlanta Falcons. You're looking to actually build something. You got, first off, you got one of the greatest, nicest, one of the most perfect players that you can truly build around and have a culture that you want and a personality that you want to just absolutely marinate that entire locker room with that man right here, with that man right there. And he's only 23, right? So it's not like yeah, well, he's 27. He's all right. Like, no. He's right there. He's 23. He's right there. Even his, even his little tag right there is great. And so to a contrast of what Baker Mayfield is, so you don't get that all out of the way. Get that out of the building. Nobody needs this. And so you're building something now. You're going to build a culture. You have an incredibly smart head coach who's had a lot of success with a terrible franchise and a terrible situation in Cleveland. And so I think the Atlanta Falcons, as long as they can get stability at the quarterback position, whether that's with Penn and his health or whatever direction they need to take, because who knows at this point, honestly, as someone who believes in Penn, but health withstanding and all that, you can right this ship, you can get this going. You already invested a bunch in the defense and whatnot. You have some awesome offensive pieces. You saw what it was like to have a grown-up with Kirk Cousins. You can right this ship a lot quicker than it maybe seems. Heck, if you could just make field goals last year, you'd be in the playoffs. You could make the argument if you just did it this year, you'd be in the playoffs. You should have beat the Bucs. What was that, week 1, I think, or week 2? One of those weeks. You were right there. And this was obviously the season where one game, one play literally changes everything. So I like the steps that the Atlanta Falcons are taking. And you know what? I actually, a part of me, listen, I don't want the Baker mentality and that attitude in my locker room personally and for my team, but I love that it exists because it makes the battle so much fun. It makes it exciting. And of course, the media and all that, they're going to feed into it so much. And the first game that they play against each other, they're going to put up that soundbite and that quote on the TV, and you're going to hear, Joe Buck come out and say, oh, yeah, clearly no love lost in there. And, Troy Amo will be like, there sure isn't, Joe. And, that just the way it works. I think, Baker, that's how he plays. He's got a chip on his shoulder, and, and on we go. And, it's football. It's the WWE aspect of the NFL, and which is good in small doses, right? It's good in small doses, and that's why I think Stefanski just gave a great answer, and he's a great quarterback, great team, excited for the rivalry. I love the rivalry. He didn't do anything dumb, like Ben Johnson, where he's like, I hate the Packers. I don't like the Packers. And it's like, okay, dude, you're a grown man. What are you talking about? You're not a fan. You're a coach, right? You make tens of millions of dollars. Like what? Grow up, man. We're allowed to say that because we're fans. You're running the team. I need you to have your wits and your emotions regulated and managed, okay? I need to feel like you're a grown-up. That's why I'm paying you all the money in the world, and you're literally running $1 billion franchise. Okay, Kevin Stefanski is a grown-up. The Atlanta Falcons need grown-ups, and he's not emotional. And considering how chaotic the Cleveland Browns were all throughout his time there, and you see him stable and regulated the entire time, and I'm telling you, that's going to go such a long way. I'm telling you, that's going to go such a long way. And I really think that especially in those moments when things were just not going according to plan with the Browns, it was actually Kevin Stefanski's intelligence understanding there's nothing for me to do. There's nothing for me to do in this moment. I'm at the mercy of my circumstance right now. So I'm like, you're not going to get worked up. I'm not going to get angry. I'm not going to go left, right, up, down, because it's the wisdom of just understanding there's nothing for me to do. There's no string for me to pull. There's no decision to make. I can't get more out of the talent that I have, out of the roster that I'm existing with. There's just what can I do? What can I do? And I just think there's going to be so much more at his disposal in Atlanta. And I think it was a confident, strong, smart hire that they did quickly. They took care of business. And I just respect it. I really, really respect it. And I just think that even in these types of instances, we see it. We see it. And I'm actually really excited for the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, I was excited last year going into this season, if they were a little bit more organized and didn't run into a wall at their own power, they would have won the division. Okay, you would have proven me right and won the division, but you just couldn't do it. You just couldn't do it. You just couldn't do it. But you should have, and I'm sticking to that. You should have. And I do believe I want to see free agency, and I want to see the draft, and I want to see the health of the quarterbacks and who is the quarterback and what the story is there. But I think there should be a ton of optimism with the Atlanta Falcons right now. I really, really do. And so I'm excited to see what they look like. And I'm excited for them to play in games that feel like they matter, and even rivalry games against the Bucks, which will obviously matter because it's obviously, got to beat the Bucks, but also some of that extra juice, some of that extra, energy behind it. So I'm all for it. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Kevin Stefanski and the Atlanta Falcons? And if you care to comment on Baker Mayfield and all that, for all my Baker Mayfield kings and queens out there, let me know. Let me know how you feel. Please don't forget to subscribe. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.